Welcome to Cybersecurity HQ's weekly intelligence briefing, specifically for CISOs and cybersecurity professionals.
Right.
You know the drill. This week, we are going to be dissecting those impactful events, going beyond the headlines and really getting into the technical details and insights.
Sounds good.
So let's just jump right in.
Yeah, first on the radar is this unsealed indictment against Guan Tianfeng.
Okay.
And it's shedding light on the exploitation of a Sophos firewall vulnerability back in 2020.
Wow. So this is like a blast from the past,
Yeah.
but obviously has implications for today.
Definitely.
What should we be paying attention to here?
So the indictment reveals a pretty deliberate and strategic operation. Guan Tianfeng is linked to Sichuan Silence Information Technology, and they exploited CVE 2020-12771. This vulnerability impacted something like 81,000 devices.
Wow.
So a goldmine for data theft and potential file encryption.
And I mean, the connection to the Chinese government makes this even more concerning.
Exactly. Sichuan Silence's ties to the Ministry of Public Security add a whole other layer of complexity here.
Yeah.
It suggests this could be a state-sponsored campaign, especially given their history of scanning networks overseas.
Yeah.
They even went as far as using fake domains mimicking Sophos
Oh, wow.
to try and fly under the radar.
It sounds like Sophos's quick response and mitigation efforts probably prevented a much larger catastrophe.
Yeah, absolutely. Their rapid action forced the attackers to adapt their malware, which, really showcases the importance of proactive vulnerability management and incident response.
Yeah.
I mean, the State Department even offered a $10 million reward.
Wow.
That underscores the severity of this case and the U.S. government's commitment to holding those responsible accountable.
Absolutely. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about Gen Digital's acquisition of MoneyLion for $1 billion.
Okay.
This move seems to signal a strategic shift for the cybersecurity giant.
Yeah, it's a bold move, for sure.
Gen Digital, known for that robust portfolio of security and privacy products like Avast and Norton.
Right.
But now they're venturing into fintech.
They are.
So what's the driving force behind this expansion? Is it just market diversification?
I think there's a deeper strategy at play here.
Okay.
CEO Vincent Pilette, his statement really emphasizes the alignment with Gen's core mission of protecting privacy, identity, and now financial assets.
Interesting.
It's about creating a holistic security ecosystem
Makes sense.
for users in this, increasingly interconnected world.
Yeah, for sure. And this acquisition really kind of speaks volumes about the convergence of cybersecurity and financial services.
Yeah.
So speaking of market dynamics, Sentinel's recent earnings miss and subsequent stock decline, that raised some eyebrows.
It did. It really stands in contrast to some of the strong earnings that were reported by, the giants like Palo Alto and CrowdStrike.
Right.
And it raises questions about their ability to compete in this current threat landscape where the stakes are really high.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure on cybersecurity firms is immense.
It is.
They're expected to not only protect against these increasingly sophisticated attacks,
Right.
but also face potential liabilities if breaches occur.
Exactly.
I did see a tweet from Hacking News
Yeah.
that could offer some additional insights into how the market's reacting to Sentinel's performance and what this means for the future of endpoint security.
Sure.
So this is a recurring nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
The Cleo file transfer vulnerability, CVE 2024-50623, has resurfaced, despite that October patch.
Unfortunately, the initial patch was ineffective,
Oh, no.
leaving Cleo, Harmony, VL Trader, and Lexicom systems vulnerable.
Wow.
Huntress's discovery of this failure highlights the need for really thorough vulnerability testing
Yes.
and validation.
Yeah.
So exploitation began on December 3rd.
Okay.
And we're already seeing significant impact. Over 1,700 servers are at risk,
Wow.
with 10 confirmed compromises across a bunch of sectors, like consumer goods, food, and shipping. The attackers are establishing persistence and conducting reconnaissance,
Oh, no.
mirroring tactics we saw in the movie It Attacks.
So they learn and adapt quickly,
Precisely.
leveraging those proven methods for maximum impact.
Yep. Cleo is racing to develop a new patch.
Good.
And Huntress and Rapid7 are urging organizations to be on high alert, monitoring for indicators of compromise.
Okay.
They released some detailed mitigation recommendations to help organizations stay ahead of this evolving threat.
All right, good stuff. All right, so let's turn our attention to a developing story.
Okay.
There's finally confirmation that the North Korean threat actor UNC 4736 orchestrated that $50 million Radiant Capital heist
Yeah.
back in October.
This was a meticulous attack targeting the core of Radiant's operations. They exploited a vulnerability during a routine multi-signature emissions adjustment process,
Which is
a critical function in DeFi platforms.
okay.
And what's really interesting is that they initiated this back in September.
Wow.
They were laying the groundwork for a while.
So what happened?
Their initial point of entry was a developer who was targeted with a Telegram message that had a zipped PDF.
Okay.
And hidden in that file was the inlet drift backdoor malware.
Wow.
A potent tool for compromising systems.
Yeah, this attack really highlights the insidious nature of social engineering.
It does.
I mean, even experienced developers can fall victim to these carefully crafted traps.
Absolutely. Once they had access, they manipulated transactions to appear legitimate,
Oh, wow.
bypassed security checks, and ultimately drained $50 million from Radiant's core markets.
Their sophistication is pretty evident in their approach.
It is.
They exploited open approvals to withdraw user funds.
Right.
And even deployed malicious smart contracts across multiple blockchains.
Yeah.
Arbitrum, Base, Binance Smart Chain, and Ethereum.
That multi-chain attack strategy really demonstrates their intent to maximize reach and impact.
Yeah.
Radiant's post-mortem analysis revealed that the attackers masked their activities, leaving no obvious red flags.
During, like, standard security checks?
Right.
That's a sobering reminder that even with robust security measures in place, sophisticated attackers can find ways to exploit vulnerabilities.
They can. And Mandiant's attribution of this attack to the North Korean Reconnaissance General Bureau adds another layer of concern.
Yeah.
State-sponsored actors are increasingly targeting the DeFi space,
Right.
seeking financial gains and demonstrating their growing capabilities.
This isn't just espionage anymore.
Right.
This is directly impacting the financial stability of these emerging platforms.
Absolutely. This incident underscores the need for enhanced security measures within DeFi.
Yeah.
Platforms need to adopt a proactive approach,
Okay.
incorporating things like advanced threat detection, robust multi-factor authentication, and continuous security audits to really mitigate those risks.
All right, so moving on from DeFi, we're seeing this disturbing trend of cyber attacks targeting small municipal organizations across North America.
Yeah.
And these attacks highlight the expanding attack surface, that no organization is immune regardless of size or perceived value.
Right.
Yeah, so let's take a closer look at two recent incidents.
Okay.
So the Pembina Trail School Division in Winnipeg
Yeah.
experienced a cyber attack,
Uh-huh.
crippled key services for their 16,000 students.
Wow.
This forced the school to take immediate action isolating systems,
Right.
working tirelessly to restore those essential services.
Yeah.
I mean, the disruption to education
Uh-huh.
and the potential exposure of sensitive student data underscore the consequences of these attacks.
They do.
And then in Wood County, Ohio,
Okay.
a ransomware attack brought their operations to a standstill.
Oh, geez.
They were forced to engage data forensic experts to assess the damage and determine the best course of action.
It happens.
These incidents serve as a stark warning for these smaller organizations.
They do.
They often lack the resources and expertise to adequately defend against these sophisticated attacks.
Right.
This highlights the need for increased cybersecurity awareness,
Yes.
proactive planning, and collaboration with security experts to strengthen their defenses.
For sure.
So it's not just schools and local governments that are under attack.
Right.
Krispy Kreme recently disclosed a cyber incident
Really?
impacting their IT systems,
Wow.
leading to disruptions in online ordering.
Across the whole U.S.
Yeah. This incident was first reported on November 29th
Okay.
and forced Krispy Kreme to engage external experts to investigate and contain the damage. They haven't released specific details,
Right.
but the disruption to their online operations highlights the potential financial and reputational damage
Yeah.
that these cyber attacks can inflict.
Yeah, for sure.
This incident aligns with the broader trend of rising cyber attacks,
It does.
particularly ransomware targeting organizations across all these sectors.
Yep.
And speaking of ransomware, a new report from Moody's paints a pretty grim picture.
Oh, boy.
The report reveals a 70% increase
Wow.
in ransomware incidents between 2022 and 2023, both in volume and ransom demands. This surge indicates that ransomware remains a highly profitable and effective attack strategy.
It does.
So what's driving this alarming increase?
Well, the report highlights a shift in tactics.
Okay.
Hackers are focusing on larger organizations to extract higher payouts.
Right.
They're also exploiting supply chain vulnerabilities to maximize their impact.
So bigger targets, bigger ransoms.
Yep, it's a high-stakes game.
It is. But are victims still paying up?
Well, the average ransom demand has skyrocketed, a record-breaking $75 million in 2024.
Wow.
The report actually reveals a declining trend in victim compliance.
Interesting.
Only 28% of victims paid ransoms in early 2024, compared to 85% in 2019.
So that suggests that organizations are becoming more resilient.
It does.
Recognizing that paying ransoms doesn't guarantee data recovery.
Right.
And often fuels further criminal activity.
Exactly. The report also highlights the industries most frequently targeted by ransomware.
Okay.
Finance, technology, healthcare, and logistics. These sectors often face pressure to restore operations quickly, making them more likely to consider paying. However, the declining payment trend indicates that organizations are prioritizing robust backup and recovery strategies.
That makes sense.
To mitigate the impact.
So the report also points to a key driver behind this increasing sophistication and scale of attacks: generative AI.
It's a double-edged sword.
Right. Yeah.
While it holds immense potential for good, it's also empowering attackers to enhance their tactics.
In what way?
Particularly in phishing campaigns, Zscaler reported a 58% surge in phishing attacks.
Wow.
Following ChatGPT's release in 2023.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
It is.
So this underscores the need for cybersecurity professionals to adapt their defenses.
Absolutely.
Incorporating AI-powered security solutions to counter these evolving threats.
Yep.
So staying ahead of the curve is paramount.
It is.
All right, let's delve into Microsoft's December Patch Tuesday.
Okay.
Addressed over 70 security flaws, including a zero-day vulnerability that is actively being exploited. So this vulnerability, CVE 2024-4913D8, resides within the Windows Common Log File system. CLFS carries a CVS score of 7.8.
Okay.
And it's particularly concerning because it allows attackers to gain system privileges.
Wow. So essentially giving them full control over a compromised system.
Yeah, and the fact that it's a zero-day vulnerability actively being exploited makes it a top priority for patching.
Definitely.
And the low execution privilege requirement, coupled with the lack of user interaction needed for exploitation, makes this a particularly insidious threat.
It does.
Organizations need to act swiftly to mitigate this vulnerability before it's widely exploited.
For sure.
So what other critical vulnerabilities did Microsoft address?
So they highlighted 16 critical vulnerabilities.
Okay.
Including a Windows LDAP remote code execution bug.
Okay.
CVE 2024-49011. With the CVSS score of 9.8 out of 10.
Wow.
This allows attackers to execute arbitrary code on vulnerable systems. Potentially leading to complete system compromise.
Given the severity of this vulnerability, immediate patching is paramount.
It is.
So what mitigation steps are recommended?
So Microsoft recommends disconnecting domain controllers from the internet as a temporary mitigation measure.
Okay.
This will reduce the attack surface and prevent attackers from exploiting the vulnerability remotely.
Got it.
They also released patches addressing vulnerabilities in Hyper-V, remote desktop services, and Microsoft message queuing.
Microsoft has been busy this year.
They have.
Patching this relentless wave of vulnerabilities.
Yeah. So far this year, they've patched over 1,020 vulnerabilities.
Wow.
And grappled with 27 documented zero-day attacks.
That's a lot.
It is.
This highlights the constant pressure on software vendors
to
identify and address vulnerabilities before they're exploited.
Exactly. It's a never-ending race against time.
It is. And all of this brings us to a thought-provoking discussion about the human element in cybersecurity. There's this growing concern about overconfidence within the field.
Interesting.
Ernestus Nepris, in a recent Cyber News article, raised a really good point. He argues that even seasoned cybersecurity professionals can fall victim to phishing scams.
It can happen.
And this overconfidence can lead to complacency. And, neglecting to establish solid response plans for when those inevitable clicks happen.
It's not just about preventing those clicks,
Right.
but also about having a plan in place for damage control.
Exactly. And this proactive approach really aligns with that overarching theme we've been seeing throughout this week's deep dives. We're dealing with this constantly evolving threat landscape.
We are.
It demands adaptability and preparedness
For sure.
for all these different scenarios.
It's not just about reacting to the headlines.
Right.
It's about anticipating the next wave.
Exactly. And as we saw with the Radiant Capital hack, social engineering tactics are becoming so insidious.
They are.
Exploiting our trust, our curiosity, and often our overconfidence to gain access to valuable systems and data.
The human element remains a critical vulnerability.
It does.
Attackers are masters of manipulation, crafting those convincing narratives and exploiting that inherent desire to help or engage.
Yeah, it's a constant reminder that cybersecurity goes beyond firewalls and intrusion detection systems.
Right.
It's about building a culture of awareness and vigilance at every level of an organization.
Sure.
And that brings us to the importance of education and training.
Okay.
Everyone from frontline employees to the C-suite needs to understand the tactics employed by attackers and the steps that they can take to protect themselves and the organization.
I agree. Cybersecurity is no longer the sole domain of IT departments.
Right.
It's a shared responsibility, a collective effort that requires continuous learning, adaptation, and a proactive approach to risk management.
And this collective effort extends beyond individual organizations.
Yeah, it does.
We need to foster collaboration and information sharing.
Absolutely.
Between governments, industry leaders, and security professionals.
For sure.
To effectively counter these ever-evolving threats.
Platforms like Cybersecurity HQ play a vital role in facilitating that collaboration.
They do.
By providing that central hub for news, insights, and resources.
The threat landscape is global.
It is.
Demanding a global response.
Yep.
Sharing threat intelligence best practices and lessons learned is paramount in staying ahead of the curve.
Agreed.
So this deep dive has provided a glimpse into the complexities of the current cybersecurity landscape.
It has.
It's a constantly evolving field.
It is.
Requiring continuous learning and vigilance.
Complacency is not an option.
No.
The rapid pace of technological advancements, coupled with the increasing sophistication of attackers, demands that we remain adaptable and proactive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, especially those in leadership roles, what are some key takeaways to help them navigate this ever-changing environment?
Well, I think they need to invest in a robust, multi-layered cybersecurity strategy that encompasses prevention, detection, and response.
Right.
Don't rely solely on technology. Prioritize employee training and awareness programs to address that human element.
As we saw with the Sophos and Radiant Capital cases, attack vectors are becoming increasingly diverse and originate from all corners of the globe.
Having a global perspective is crucial.
It is.
Collaborating with international partners to share information and best practices is essential.
Right.
Don't underestimate the threat from state-sponsored actors. Make sure to stay informed about their evolving techniques and tactics.
And to echo your point, fostering a culture of cybersecurity awareness throughout the entire organization is paramount.
Absolutely encourage employees to report suspicious activity and ensure clear protocols are in place for handling those security incidents. Swift and decisive action can significantly reduce the impact of a successful attack.
The recent surge in ransomware attacks serves as a stark reminder that organizations need a clear plan for responding to these incidents.
They do make a conscious decision in advance about whether you're willing to pay a ransom. Fully understand the potential consequences of each option.
Right.
A solid backup and recovery strategy is non-negotiable to minimize the impact of any attack.
And we can't forget about the supply chain.
We can't carefully evaluate the security practices of your vendors and partners as their vulnerabilities can directly impact your organization.
For sure. Conducting thorough due diligence and requiring strong security standards from your partners is a critical step in mitigating those supply chain risks. So the rise of Gen AI presents both opportunities and challenges.
It does.
We need to harness its power, but also acknowledge the potential risks.
Invest in those advanced security solutions that can detect and respond to AI-powered attacks. Continuously reassess your security posture to ensure it aligns with this evolving landscape.
So this deep dive has highlighted the interconnectedness of cybersecurity threats.
It has.
And the need for a holistic, comprehensive approach
to security. It's a shared responsibility that requires vigilance, collaboration, and a willingness to adapt.
We need to move beyond that reactive siloed approach
Yes.
to security.
And embrace a proactive, collaborative mindset.
That recognizes the interconnectedness of our digital ecosystem.
Exactly.
So Cybersecurity HQ is here to support you on that journey.
We offer a wealth of resources to help you stay ahead of the curve.
What kind of resources?
Well, we have our job board
Well,
for those looking to expand their security teams.
right.
The latest news updates to keep you informed. In-depth reports that delve into the nuances of specific threats and vulnerabilities.
Great. And our weekly newsletter.
Yes, a curated collection of the most critical news and analysis delivered right to your inbox.
I love that.
It's read by over 70,000 cybersecurity professionals each week, making it a valuable resource for staying connected and informed.
Cybersecurity HQ is more than just a platform.
It is.
It's a community.
It is a community of experts, thought leaders, and professionals.
Right.
Passionate about sharing their knowledge, insights, and best practices.
Awesome.
We encourage you to explore our website,
Yeah.
join the conversation, and become a part of this dynamic and growing community.
Absolutely. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Well, until next week, stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay ahead of the curve.
Sounds good. He provides 5 easy-to-follow rules, a framework that organizations can adapt
Right.
and implement to mitigate that damage from those successful phishing attempts.
So it's really about shifting from a prevention-only mindset to one that incorporates that robust response strategy.
Yeah.
And this proactive approach really aligns with the overarching theme we've seen throughout this week's deep dive.
It does.
We're dealing with a constantly evolving threat landscape
We are.
that demands adaptability
Yep.
and a preparedness for diverse scenarios.
It's not just about reacting to the latest headlines.
Yeah.
It's about anticipating the next wave of attacks.
Exactly.
From nation-state actors to ransomware gangs, the adversaries are becoming so sophisticated,
They are.
blurring the lines between traditional cybercrime and targeted espionage.
And as we saw with the Radiant Capital hack,
Right.
social engineering tactics are becoming increasingly insidious.
They are.
They're exploiting our trust, our curiosity, and often our overconfidence to gain access to valuable systems and data.
The human element remains a critical vulnerability.
It really does.
Attackers are masters of manipulation, crafting those convincing narratives and exploiting our inherent desire to help or engage.
Yeah, it's a constant reminder that cybersecurity goes beyond, firewalls and intrusion detection systems.
Yeah.
It's about building a culture of awareness
Yes.
and vigilance
Yeah.
at every level of an organization.
For sure. And that brings us to the importance of education and training.
Yeah.
Everyone, from frontline employees to the C-suite, needs to understand those tactics
Right.
employed by these attackers and the steps they can take to protect themselves
Right.
and the organization.
Yeah, I agree. Cybersecurity is no longer the sole domain of IT departments.
Nope.
It's a shared responsibility, a collective effort
It is.
that requires continuous learning, adaptation, and a proactive approach to risk management.
Absolutely. And this collective effort extends beyond individual organizations as well.
It does. We need to foster collaboration and information sharing
For sure.
between governments, industry leaders, security professionals
Yeah.
to effectively counter these ever-evolving threats.
Right. And platforms like Cybersecurity HQ play a vital role in facilitating that collaboration
They do.
by providing a central hub for news, insights, and resources.
Absolutely. And the threat landscape is global. So it demands a global response.
Exactly.
Sharing threat intelligence, best practices, and lessons learned is paramount in staying ahead of the curve.
It is. I completely agree.
So this deep dive has provided a glimpse into the complexities
Yes,
of the current cybersecurity landscape.
it has.
It's constantly evolving.
It is.
It requires continuous learning and vigilance.
Complacency is not an option.
It is not.
The rapid pace of technological advancements, coupled with the increasing sophistication of attackers,
Right.
demands that we remain adaptable and proactive in our security strategies.
Absolutely. So for our listeners,
Okay.
especially those in leadership roles,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways
Okay.
to help them navigate this ever-changing environment?
Well, I think they need to invest in a robust, multi-layered cybersecurity strategy that encompasses prevention, detection, and response.
Right.
Don't rely solely on technology. Prioritize employee training and awareness programs to address that human element.
As we saw with the Sophos and Radiant Capital cases,
Yes.
attack vectors are becoming increasingly diverse,
They are.
originating from all corners of the globe.
Having a global perspective on cybersecurity threats is crucial.
It is.
Collaborating with international partners to share information and best practices is essential.
Right.
Don't underestimate the threat from state-sponsored actors.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure to stay informed about their evolving techniques and tactics.
And to echo your point, fostering a culture of cybersecurity awareness
Yes.
throughout the organization is paramount.
Absolutely encourage employees to report suspicious activity and ensure clear protocols are in place for handling those security incidents.
Right.
Swift and decisive action can significantly reduce the impact of a successful attack.
Yeah, the recent surge in ransomware attacks serves as a stark reminder
It does.
that organizations need a clear plan
Yes.
for responding to these incidents.
Absolutely. Make a conscious decision in advance about whether you're willing to pay a ransom.
Right.
Fully understanding the potential consequences of each option.
Okay.
A solid backup and recovery strategy is non-negotiable to minimize the impact of any attack.
And we can't forget about the supply chain.
We can't carefully evaluate the security practices of your vendors and partners,
Right.
as their vulnerabilities can directly impact your organization's security posture.
Absolutely. Conducting thorough due diligence
Yeah.
and requiring strong security standards from your partners is a critical step
It is.
in mitigating those supply chain risks.
For sure.
So the rise of Gen AI presents both opportunities and challenges.
It does.
We need to harness its power,
Right.
but also acknowledge the potential risks.
Absolutely. Invest in those advanced security solutions that can detect and respond to AI-powered attacks.
Okay.
And continuously reassess your security posture to ensure it aligns with this evolving threat landscape.
So this deep dive has highlighted the interconnectedness of cybersecurity threats and the need for a holistic, comprehensive approach to security.
It's a shared responsibility that requires vigilance, collaboration, and a willingness to adapt to the ever-changing landscape.
We need to move beyond that reactive, siloed approach
We do.
to security.
Embrace a proactive, collaborative mindset that recognizes the interconnectedness of our digital ecosystem.
Exactly.
Cybersecurity HQ is here to support you on that journey.
They are.
We offer a wealth of resources to help you stay ahead of the curve.
Like
Our job board,
Right.
for those looking to expand their security teams, up-to-the-minute news updates to keep you informed,
Right.
and in-depth reports that delve into the nuances of specific threats and vulnerabilities.
Excellent.
And our weekly newsletter,
Cool.
a curated collection of the most critical news and analysis delivered directly to your inbox.
Wonderful.
It's read by over 70,000 cybersecurity professionals each week, making it a valuable resource for staying connected and informed.
Cybersecurity HQ is more than just a platform.
It is.
It's a community.
It's a community of experts, thought leaders, and professionals who are passionate about cybersecurity
Right.
and dedicated to sharing knowledge and best practices.
I love that.
We encourage you to explore our website, join the conversation, and become a part of this dynamic and growing community.
Yes, great stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot to process, but that's cybersecurity today, you know?
Right.
We're constantly challenged to adapt and evolve to stay ahead of these adversaries.
The key takeaway here is proactive cybersecurity.
Yes.
Don't wait for an incident to happen before you assess your security posture
Right.
and implement those safeguards.
We need to shift from reactive to proactive.
We do, anticipating threats and vulnerabilities before they're exploited.
Exactly. And Cybersecurity HQ is here to help you on that journey,
We are.
providing you with the resources and insights you need
Yes.
to navigate this complex world.
Absolutely.
We offer a range of valuable tools,
We do.
including our job board
Yeah.
for those looking to expand their security teams, up-to-the-minute news updates to keep you informed,
Right.
in-depth reports that really kind of delve into those nuances of specific threats and vulnerabilities,
Absolutely.
and our weekly newsletter.
Yes, our curated collection of the most critical news and analysis delivered right to your inbox.
Yes.
It's read by over 70,000 cybersecurity professionals each week,
Wow.
making it a valuable resource for staying connected and informed.
Cybersecurity HQ is more than just a platform.
It is.
It's a community.
It's a community of experts, thought leaders, and professionals who are passionate about cybersecurity
Right.
and dedicated to sharing knowledge and best practices.
We encourage you to explore our website, join the conversation, and become a part of this dynamic and growing community.
We do.
Until next week, stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay ahead of the curve.
Sounds good.